I've been on the carnivore diet for over 10 years, and in that time I've worked with thousands of clients, and I've seen the same 5 mistakes being made over and over again that have resulted in them having low energy, fat loss stalls, electrolyte issues, etc. I personally disagree with a fair amount of the information that's online about how to properly do the carnivore diet. With that in mind, don't click off early, because at the end I'm going to tell you how you can tell whether your favorite online influencer is trustworthy or whether they're not. Anyway, I figured I would make this quick video giving my perspective on how to actually do the carnivore diet properly. So let's go. Carnivore mistake number 1. No transition. Here's my advice. Do not change your diet from anything to anything else suddenly overnight, ever. Always do a transition. Take several weeks. Slide the stuff out that you want to slide out and slide the stuff in that you need to slide in. Simple as that. If you change your diet suddenly, you will shock your microbiome, and that can cause you problems, either immediately or later down the track. And it might be months or even well over a year before it all turns to custard. And I mean, literally. So always transition slowly. That's number 1. Here's number 2. Eating more than once a day. That's what that 2+ MAD thing on the screen means. It means eating 2 or more meals a day. You should be eating OMAD, 1 meal a day. Why? Well, when you eat any food of any kind, your body will produce an inflammatory response. Why does it do that? Well, because we evolved as scavengers, pretty much. So every time you eat food, your body wonders, I wonder if this is the one that's got the bad bacteria in it that's going to kill me. So there's an inflammatory response getting ready. Then over the next several hours, it works out that one was okay and it settles down. So why would you do that to yourself 3, 4, 5 times a day when you can get it over with in 1? Second reason for eating once a day is when you eat enough protein, you will get an insulin bump. Not a big spike like you get with sugar. You don't want that. You just want this little bump. Sleeping policeman. Why do you want that? Well, it's really important for thyroid function. It's really important for kidney function. It's really important that you can hold on to your electrolytes, etc. Really important for your blood pressure, all sorts of reasons. It's in line with natural processes. It's not natural to eat 3, 4, and 5 times a day. Goodness, who told you that? Where'd you get that from? Well, everybody told you that, and you got it your whole life, didn't you? You've been brainwashed. It's not your fault. Anyway, don't do that. Once a day is ideal. Mistake number 3, fruit and honey. Fruit and honey. Yes, the exact requirement for fruit and for honey in the human diet is not 1 single gram ever. A lot of people say, oh, well, maybe it's not required, but perhaps it's optimal. No, it's not. Why not? Well, fructose is the main problem, I think, personally. Fructose is handled very differently from glucose in the human system, in that almost entirely it's handled by the liver through a slightly different pathway to what glucose is. When that happens, as a necessary side effect of this pathway, your liver energy level gets pulled down. The ATP level in your liver cells gets reduced. That's a bad thing. Why? Well, because it keeps your hunger signal going, and it means that overall you're going to eat more food. And if you eat more food than your body needs, your body's going to store that as fat. That's not what you want. Also, it tends to lead towards fatty liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Not a good thing. Chronic systemic inflammation is part of that. Not a good thing. Fructose is not your friend. Fruit is not your friend. An apple a day will not keep the doctor away. Stay away from the fruit and honey. That's my advice. Carnivore mistake number 4. Liver. Eating lots of liver. Fresh, fried, pate. Even worse, concentrated freeze-dried stuff. Hey, why? Well, liver contains various things at levels which are vastly above what's required by humans. And, like anything, it's the dose that makes the toxin. Anything can be poisonous if you have too much of it. I'll give you a couple of examples. Water. Oxygen. Both of those things can kill you if you get too much of them all at once. The same is true of things like vitamin A and copper, both of which are very, very highly represented in liver. Here's the way I think about it. Think about the size of a cattle beast. Think about the amount of edible muscle meat on that cattle beast. Think about how much of that cattle beast is liver. Well, that's the proportion of liver that should be in your diet, if any at all. Once again, the exact dietary requirement for liver in humans is not 1 single gram of it ever. Liver is not a superfood just because it contains things in a higher concentration than muscle meat. Craziness. All right, so that's my advice. Eat liver sparingly if you're going to eat liver at all, and don't worry about it if you don't like or don't want to eat liver. You don't need it. All right, here we go. Carnivore mistake number 5. Here we go. Salt. What am I going to say here? Too much salt? Not enough salt? Here's what I'm going to say. Your mileage will vary. Okay. Typically, at the start of a carnivore diet, say the first 2 or 3 years, typically people need more salt. After that, typically they need less salt. Oh, Professor, how are we going to know? I hear you all saying. Well, here it is. Instinct. Once you've been a clean carnivore for a while, your instincts about what you should and shouldn't be eating will be really good. So if you fancy salt, have some salt. If you don't fancy salt, don't have the salt. See what happens. I think you'll find it'll make a big difference to your lives and your success stories as a carnivore. So there you go. Now, the bonus information that I promised you at the beginning. How do I know whether my favorite online influencers are trustworthy or whether they're not? Here it is. If you look at what they're saying this week, is it the same thing they were saying last week, last month, last year, several years before that, if they've been around that long? If not, if they've changed their mind, I was wrong before, but now I'm right. You can't trust them. Sorry.
But I think the biggest thing for me that I've changed my mind on since I wrote the book in 2019 was carbohydrates, and then in connecting with that, the ketosis and ketogenic diets. So when I wrote the Carnivore Code, and this is humbling, this is what we all do, is we write books, and then you put your thoughts into cement, you freeze your thoughts in kryptonite, and then you change your thoughts, and you think, oh, the book, it's just not a living document. So
if they were wrong before, how do you know they're not wrong now? Maybe they were right the first time. Hey, Paul. Dear, oh dear. Okay, so it's very, very important. Consistency. Your online influencer should have done their research before they came online and made videos telling you about how to eat. They should have got it right the first time. They should never have to change their tune. And you'll find that I don't. That's why you stick around this channel. Thanks for watching this video. Join me next time.